Your fingerprint detectors and your notepads. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive, some detective work on John McAfee. McAfee? McAfee? How the fuck do you say it? Now for the people that don't know who this dude is, which is, pretty surprising. You probably recognize the last name, but I'm going to go ahead and read this quick, summation of, almost his life. You probably find, more information or a better biography on, Wikipedia, but I read through this and I was like, this is pretty fucking interesting. If you owned a PC during the past 20 years, you are likely familiar with the McAfee antivirus software. However, you are likely unfamiliar with the man who pioneered it, John McAfee. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I think it's McAfee. A former employee of NASA and Lockheed Martin, founded McAfee Associates, a software company in the late 1980s. He made his millions as PC ownership grew and fears of computer viruses increased. Dude, how I knew of this dude, or the first story I heard about him, is how he, I'm not going to say he made up, a virus, but he, how he launched his things, he made it seem like a bunch of computers were going to be poisoned by this virus on a certain day, and that they needed his software to be protected from it. And he blew it up as this huge thing, and then, some PCs did get poisoned by the virus, but it was, literally 100th of the amount that he claimed. If I that's a very generalized story. I couldn't find it anywhere, but that's the only thing I knew about this dude before this. John McAfee resigned from the company in 1994, and in 1997 McAfee Associates merged with Network General, becoming Network Associates. McAfee reportedly sold his remaining stake in the company for $100 million. After 7 years as Network Associates, the company returned to its original name, McAfee Associates, and in 2010 was acquired by Intel Corporation for nearly $7.7 billion. And we all know what Intel is, who Intel is, rather. In June of 2013, John McAfee released McAfee. I'm going to probably pronounce it two different ways this entire video. I've never heard it said out loud. Released a video where he attacked the quality of McAfee software. To McAfee's relief, in January 2014, Intel dropped the McAfee branding, now marketing those products under Intel's security. Aside from a profanity-laced video attacking the product he pioneered, what happened to John McAfee since his departure from McAfee Associates in 1994? Question mark. This is the part where it kind of gets a little bit crazy. A poor investment decision as the market collapse in 2008 prompted John McAfee to sell his property and assets. In an attempt to live a more rustic life, he then relocated to Belize to explore new business ventures and study yoga. In April 2012, after receiving information that McAfee's home was a meth lab, Belize's gang suppression unit raided McAfee's home. Why is there something Belize? I want to say that's how you say it. Despite the fact that McAfee spent many years under the influence of bath salts, quote unquote, which are potent psychosis-inducing drugs, they did not locate any illegal drugs. During the raid, they killed McAfee's dog, stole his passport, and arrested him for possessing an unlicensed gun. Buddy, they're lucky this dude didn't fucking turn into John Wick. You killed his fucking dog? How the fuck do you say that? I forget how I was saying it. McAfee believed that Belize was corrupt, and they raided his home because he refused to financially support a local politician who lost in the election. In November of 2012, John McAfee was named a person of interest, quote unquote, in the murder of his American neighbor, Gregory Fall. Neighbors reported that Fall and McAfee had gotten into an argument over McAfee's vicious dogs. When Fall was found in his home, fatally shot in the head, and McAfee's dogs were found dead. Jesus, dude, this dude can't get a break. Hearing that his life was in danger, McAfee fled to Guatemala to avoid further police questioning and seek political asylum. His asylum was denied, and on December 5th, 2012, he was arrested for entering the country illegally. 1 week later, he was deported back to the United States. As of January 2014, Belizean police have not pursued McAfee further for his crimes they had accused him of. However, they auctioned off his assets that he seized from his compound before it was suspiciously burned down. Authorities in the U.S. have not questioned him since his return and have no plans to extradite him. Well, I'm going to skip these two. A January 2014 article from CNN reported that McAfee and his wife were enjoying life in Canada, and stating McAfee's adamant that he's no longer on the run from police and that he's trying to live in peace. While a March 2014 article from USA Today recently reported that the couple is currently in Tennessee In the midst of crisscrossing the country to evade a team of assassins, USA Today quotes McAfee, dude, as saying, quote-unquote, running a company while on the run is not easy, and also reports that McAfee and his bride are on to the next stop of their whirlwind tour of cheap hotels tucked away in safe houses and backwood roads. So apparently, I wonder if it's in either of these two articles, but he apparently met his wife because she was a prostitute, which is weird. And obviously this dude committed suicide, quote-unquote. I'm not very conspiratorial, I will admit. I just noticed that this is, like, not focused. Please focus. Please focus. Thank you. I will have to admit that I'm not very conspiratorial, like, usually, especially if something that I don't really care about. Like, when he died, I was like, oh, I know who that is, kind of. But I wasn't like, oh, there's no way, it's another Jeffrey Epstein and whatnot. And I really don't even know much about that situation. But apparently, like, everyone was in conjunction that there's no way that dude committed suicide. And from what I heard, it's pretty hard to believe. But usually if something like this happens, I'm like, okay, yeah, I believe it. So he ended up posting this tweet that I'll put on the screen. It says, I am content in here. I have friends. The food is good. All is well. Though if I hang myself, a la Epstein, it will be no fault of mine. Now, it's like, if he posted this, like, 2 days before his death, you'd be like, okay, he was trying to set some shit up. But he posted this on October 15th. October 15th, and it is now June. And I think he died on June 24th. So it's like, that is suspicious, man. And I don't understand how, if these guys are hanging themselves, how are they afforded the utility to hang themselves? Like, how are they given? I don't know what he hung himself with. I assume, like, fucking industrial reinforced shoestrings, because I don't know how they get the means to actually do something like that. That's what makes me super suspicious in a case like this. I don't know if they could somehow do it with their pants or something. Like, I'm not very well versed in the art of hanging yourself. But I read this and I was like, okay, if it was like January 10th, I'd be like, he was setting some shit up. But no, it was, what, fucking 9 months ago that happened? So it's like, was he really setting it up? Because you would think he'd be like, okay, I know I'm going to hang myself. I can't take it in here. And now I want some like conflict to arise out of my death or something like that. Because he knows that, especially after the Jeffrey Epstein thing, where like no one believed that he actually killed himself, that people would like have an uproar. And this dude's clearly a piece of shit, and so is Jeffrey Epstein. But it's like, man, it's still shady as hell. So I don't know. I'm still on the fence about all of it. Like I said, I'm not very conspiratorial. Like, I really just take shit at face value for the most part, especially if it's something like this where my opinion on it really doesn't fucking matter. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. See y'all later.